All right,
Boom,
guys.
boom, boom.
We are out here, Los Angeles, with Hooman himself. How do you pronounce your last name? Nouri?
Yeah, it's Hooman Nouri.
Nouri. Okay,
Persian first and last name.
gotcha. This is the first time we're using the mobile podcast setup. It was a bitch setting these up, but hopefully everything's sounding all good. They're very unbalanced, but that's besides the point. Got to make it work, right?
Yeah, I offered a solution, which is I hold his and he
Yeah.
holds mine.
We just do it like this the whole time. Nothing wrong with that. So you're basically the YouTube king, right? Number one.
Uncrowned, yeah.
Yeah.
I would. People say that. Huh? I guess it's true.
What year did you start?
2014.
2014, right? And what was happening around that time in your life?
Oh man, so I moved to America in 2007 from
Okay.
my country, Persia.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. I wasn't born here. So I grew up in Persia, and then my uncle actually got moved to America many years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And the day I was born in Persia in 1993, my parents asked my uncle, "Hey, we want to move to America. Can you start the paperwork process for us?"
Yeah.
And it's either you have a lot of money to fast forward the process, get your paperwork, or you go with the lottery system, where assuming you have some paperwork, you're decent people,
Mm-hmm.
and they want you in America, then you sit and wait for the yearly lottery to win your, I think it's a visa or whatever. So we won after 12 years
Oh
of
my gosh.
waiting for it. So
And
one day,
how many people from Persia do they allow in the
It's-
lottery?
dude, it's a dream. I mean, everyone applies for it,
Yeah.
pays the fees if they have family here to initiate the paperwork here.
Yeah.
But it's a dream, man. Over there, it's like screw being a doctor, this and that, going to college. It's like, how do you get to America?
Yeah.
People in I mean, my country is pretty much a third world country.
Mm-hmm.
They do anything for the chance of even just coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching Harry Mack. Do you know Harry Mack at all? The freestyle guy?
Mm-mm.
He was doing Omegle, and I wish I remember which country they said, but they said the best way they can describe why they love America so much is because our dreams are your rights in America.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and it's just like it really makes me feel fortunate to be here.
So my uncle lived in Orange County,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom's side of the family also lived in LA. So everybody we know and we knew was in California.
And did they get to LA from the lottery system as well?
Yeah. Well, they moved here as the first from our family, so they didn't have the lottery system, but they had their own ways of getting here. It was much easier 40 years ago than it is now.
Oh, okay.
40 years ago, I think some of our family members actually came here illegally. To be honest with
Really?
you, they had to pay some guy to literally sneak them on like horseback out of my country. And
Had to
stuff.
make it work.
It's been crazy, but everyone in my family who's moved out here has literally started from dirt.
Yeah.
My uncle used to cut potatoes at McDonald's when he first moved here. Had
Wow.
a bicycle for years. Aunt came here. She's a dentist now.
Wow.
Multi-million-dollar house. Came here with her husband, abusive, dumps her with a child.
Oh my God.
She works at McDonald's while going to dental school. Can't afford to pay electricity bill or a bed. And she on her own in a new country without speaking their language just goes to college, gets jobs. Now she has her own dental office. So off the bat, there was a lot of pressure from my family. Like, hey, you're in America now. Your mommy and daddy brought your ass here.
Yeah.
Don't mess up. Look at us. We made it on our own.
It's that immigrant mentality.
Yeah,
No one works harder.
exactly. Yeah.
So you came here what age?
I was 15.
15. Okay, so right when high school basically started.
Literally, yeah. I moved here 3 months before high school. We lived with my uncle for a month at his house,
Mhm.
and he was like, "All right, I brought you guys here. I got my wife and kids. You guys are on your own." We found an apartment, and a month later, I'm walking to high school on the first day with my dad. Didn't know how to dress. I was
Yeah.
dressed all, third world country. Didn't speak English.
You didn't speak English at this
Not
time?
a fucking word.
Whoa.
I mean, I knew like the basics. Like, hi, I played GTA when I was a kid.
Yeah. So that's
So,
where you learn English?
Yeah, I used to watch movies on cable TV and play GTA. So I knew the basics, but I didn't know the slang. I remember people would say like, "What's up?" And I would genuinely think they're saying, "What is up?" And I'm like, "What the fuck kind of a question is that? I don't know what's up in the sky."
Wow.
You know. But yeah, moved here 3 months later. I'm in high school.
So when you're in high school, I've always wondered that people who didn't speak English too well, like could you just not learn anything? Like, because you couldn't understand it?
I wasn't even trying to learn, dude. It's like I was in like survival mode. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, so my where I'm from, there was no Asian people, black people, white people, none of that. It's Persia. I wasn't in a big city either, so we had one single race. I was very comfortable. It's my culture. I moved to America. 3 months later, I'm in the school with people my age. You know, good-looking guys, good-looking girls, different races, a different language, different culture. People listen to different music. It's a different way of people here make friends differently. In
Hmm.
my country, it's okay to stare at someone on the street. It's
Really?
almost a way of saying I see you, I respect your presence.
Wow.
Here, you stare at someone, it's like, oh, that guy's creepy, or what are you looking at, bro?
Yeah.
You want to get beat up?
Yeah.
No, I moved to America 3 months ago. You know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even about learning. School, fuck school. I'm like trying to survive as a human being, a 15-year-old boy.
Hmm.
Of course, 1 month into high school, I had a crush on this girl.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. Puberty hits, and I'm trying to figure out a way to talk to this girl.
Yeah. Did you ever figure how?
Fuck no, man. Until the last day of high school, I actually lost my virginity at 19.
Really?
High school was miserable for me. You look at me now, a famous YouTuber, cool car, cool lifestyle. High school was miserable.
What was the worst part, you think?
Just the fact that, I mean, look, the average kid in my high school, they were trying to figure out like their place in society and in high school, like what sports they're gonna play or blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
I was like, how do I survive here? How do I communicate and make friends and be normal? You know,
Yeah.
because I didn't speak the language. I just always felt out of place, let alone worry about like going to parties or dating.
Mhm.
I was lacking the basics. I would go home every day without friends and play World of Warcraft on myself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I was naturally super skinny, so I wasn't good in sports even to like at least get attention to myself by like being the fit guy or the strong guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, high school was a fucking nightmare.
Now, how long until you were into high school do you think you really started getting at least English down?
So I was super embarrassed of having an accent and not speaking English properly.
Mhm.
So one thing I did right, and I think that's the key. It's been the key to this day is I made no Persian friends. I knew them in my high school. There was the Persian people that hung out together from my country. They were also new here.
Yeah.
It was like an English language learner program, ESL or ELD or something. Yeah, ELD, English, whatever.
English
Some
learning.
program for like new kids to come to America and go to the school. All of them would hang out together. I didn't. All my friends were also foreigners. So I had some Korean friends also new to America. So it took me a year to learn English and about 2 more years on top of that to lose my accent.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't speak English. And when I first learned it after the first year, I had a really thick accent.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it took me that long.
So it seems like you're like pretty kind of like more so than I could possibly understand because I've never obviously I grew up here, so I'm not. I've always been very interested in that transition. Do you like while you're kind of like just figuring out how to, like you said, survive in high school? Once you graduated, where was your mindset with that? Because you kind of like just started understanding English, having really good communication, but now you got to figure out where you want to go after you just figure out how to survive. You're trying to like thrive at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after high school, everybody had already finished that high school phase and gotten things out of their system, drinking at parties and going to parties and dating girls or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
now it's time for like college. The athletes were getting scholarships, or people that weren't going to college were getting management positions at their jobs they've been working with for a couple years. I had just figured out high school when it
Right.
was ending.
Right.
Just when high school was ending, I've been working out. I was getting a little bit fit. I had lost my accent. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to party. And then now I'm like 18, and everyone's like, dude, you can't hang out with high schoolers anymore. I'm like, oh shit. So the next step was, what's fucking next for me? Like everyone's going to college or getting jobs and staying at that job to be a manager or whatever. So I was like, fuck, I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to college now to figure out college the same way I did high school. I wasn't
Yeah.
enjoying studying in the first place. I never enjoyed studying. So I tried college a couple times. I think 3 times. First time was like a week I stayed in classes and I just dipped. I was so depressed just sitting in class. Didn't feel right. Second time I think was for a couple weeks because I was like, all right, like I gotta do this. My whole family is doctors and dentists.
Right.
I'm a failure, and I was brainwashed by my family too. Third time it was a semester, D's and F's, and I was like, look, I'm not fucking doing this. I left and I started getting jobs. I'm like, I don't know what I'm good at or what I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna be a monkey, just jump from tree to tree until I find my tree. So restaurants, I work at a Persian restaurant.
Is this all in Orange County or Los
Yeah, Orange
Angeles?
County.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this LA hasn't even appeared to my mind yet. LA was super intimidating to me. This
Yeah.
big city of like cool people. Man, I'm from Orange County, a small little city.
You're so close,
safe and quiet, you know. Yeah, so I started getting jobs at Subway, Persian restaurants, and then I moved to customer service at gyms, like front desk, opening the fucking gym at 4 a.m., washing the bathrooms and shit. We can cuss on your podcast, right?
Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it.
Who gives a shit?
Yes. Then I started getting jobs in sales, and that's when I realized, like, ooh, I like this idea of like not getting paid unless I make a sale. It's like entrepreneurship, improving my sales skills, reading books about body language.
Yeah.
So that kind of gave me like this tingling sensation as like, ooh, wait a minute, I am good at this, and I may have found my purpose, but then something was lacking, and it's the fact that no matter how much I was growing, it was still not me growing.
Yep.
It's not my thing. I'm making sale for somebody else's product.
You're growing to grow another company.
Yeah, you know, I'm making someone else's dreams come true. As cliche as that is, that was an overwhelming feeling I was carrying every day when I was going to my sales jobs. I made a lot of money for a 21-year-old. Some days I was making $1,000 a day, $1,000 a day in commissions.
And where was this at?
LA Fitness.
Oh, I didn't know you got. Wait, so is that you weren't a personal trainer though?
No.
But how were you getting commissions?
So I was the sales guy. I was a sales
for
guy.
the personal trainers.
No, for memberships.
Oh, I didn't know they got a commission.
Yeah, I don't know how the system is now, but back then, yeah, it was commission, and I was really good, man. Most counselors would sit in the gym, wait for what we call the walk-ins. People walking in to inquire about a membership. I was like, fuck that. I'm not sitting here competing with 5 other dudes standing with their penises out, waiting for the next, prey. I was like, I want to go out and hunt people, bring them back.
Yeah, the bow and arrow.
Yeah, the bow and arrow, man. So I was like, I just started going to like shopping centers, pop a little desk, put some like paperwork on there, have some free memberships, 7-day memberships for free. Hey guys, I know you're going to the Whole Foods here. Have you thought about joining the gym across the street?
Damn. And so this is just your thoughts alone. No one told you to do this? Wow.
Well, I had a good manager that was motivating me.
Yeah.
Very good manager, respectful guy. But I had the hunger inside me, man. It's just, fuck, how do I make more money? How do I get better? How do I stand out from everybody else in the gym? Was sitting there waiting on their phones, texting, waiting for a walk-in to take turns on.
Yeah.
I wanted to make more money. Fuck the 3 sales a day. I wanted to make 20 sales a day. So when I would go out into the mall, I'm collecting leads. Hey, I'll give you a 7-day membership. Put in your number in. Hey, just booking your 7 days. She comes in, tries it for 7 days. Most of them sign up.
Yeah.
So now I'm like making $1,000 a day, but then once again, I'm not scaling. I'm making $1,000 a day by going out there doing physical work.
Wow, that's so interesting because the things you've taught me about YouTube this is kind of similar. Like when we were talking about the Tesla video, you said there's 2 schools of thought. You can go after the people already searching for Tesla videos, or you can go out there and go for the people who aren't necessarily looking for them, but they're looking for similar things. So it's like you weren't just going to sit there and wait for people who are interested in, like they're interested enough to go to the gym to inquire. You're looking for the people who don't even know they're interested, but you're going to convince them to do so. Yeah. I think that's the mark of any really successful person. They don't do it the same way everybody else does. You did a whole different way. That's so sick.
Yeah. I read a book in high school called The Game. It's supposed to teach you how to talk to girls better. It didn't help me in high school, I can tell you that. There was more things I was lacking than just the game.
Yeah.
But the one thing in the book I actually used, not so much for talking to females, but actually in business and sales, was the peacock theory. Have I told you about it before?
I've heard of the peacock theory.
Yeah, so it's in the book The Game by Neil Strauss. Great book for marketing, actually. But the guy talks about how when you go to the club with your boys, right? You guys don't say, all right, guys, let's make sure we all look the same so we can blend in.
Yeah.
You each try and do something to stand out. The muscle guys show off their muscles, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rich guys show off their iced out APs. The
Yep.
good looking guys make sure their face pops.
Yeah.
And funny guys make sure they're in the mood. They got their pre-game, so
Yeah.
they're loose, right? So in sales, why blend in with the other 7 sales guys in the company? Or on YouTube, why make the same video
Exactly.
that 20 other channels have made? It's podcasts. Why have the same podcast as 10 other podcasts already have the same interview?
Yeah.
So it's just, how do you, and it's called a peacock theory because the way peacocks find a mating partner is, female peacocks are out about in public. Just they're very simple. They all look the same. Very simple. No exotic features. Male peacocks are very exotic, crazy feathers. The way they call out a mating partner is they'll come around her, face her, and open up their wings and do a dance to show off how unique, big, and beautiful their feathers are compared to the previous peacock
Yeah.
that had tried to get her attention.
Mm-hmm.
And she picks the one with the most beautiful dance, the most standout peacock, male peacock, right?
Yeah.
So I think humans were a little more complicated than peacocks, but it's still the same basics.
Yeah.
Whether it's a YouTube video or a product in e-commerce, or
That's a better version than I was thinking. I was thought you were gonna talk about, like, we had this conversation earlier, me and my friends. It's like when like you go to the club, and like not necessarily even the club, when you're like hanging with your friends, they act one way, and then once a girl comes around, they start acting more aggressive. All of a sudden, their voice gets a little louder. You know, all
chest
this.
pumps.
They want to say, "What's up, bro?" and start punching you a little bit. I
Yeah.
thought that's what you were talking about, but I like that way better because it makes sense. It's just a way to stand out in a
I
good
think that
way.
is them standing out too. I think it's just them.
But
trying
that's
to
more
show
of a
the female.
positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really fucked with that because I feel like you should basically be the same person around everybody. There should be no like this because she's a girl, she sees you a different way than your guy friends. Like I try to act the same as everybody. I just try to keep it real across the board. Yeah, I like that a lot. But so anyway, yeah, you're liking the growth, but you're not liking the direction the growth is going in terms of a different company. When you decided, hey, YouTube looks like it's a pretty good option?
Yeah. So in high school, I would always watch YouTube videos. I had World of Warcraft channels. I would watch for gaming. I would watch.
And what year did you graduate high school?
2011.
Okay.
Yeah. I would always watch something, gym videos, fitness videos.
So
and-
right when YouTube came out.
Yeah. YouTube came out in 06, I think.
Yeah.
06, 07. But I would always watch stuff, so I was very familiar with YouTube. But one day I watched a video of a YouTuber I used to watch buy a brand new Jaguar, and I'm like,
What was the YouTuber?
his name's Vitaly.
Vitaly, yeah.
And I think it was a Jaguar, but it was some crazy car. And I had watched his life story videos, and it was very similar to mine.
Mm-hmm.
Had moved here from Russia, abusive parents, very poor at the beginning, and he had started a YouTube channel. I'm like, wait a minute, I have the same beginning as this guy. Can my key to success be YouTube? Dude, I was ugly, I was fat, I wasn't confident, I didn't have money. I was and am still an introvert. So I'm like, fuck, YouTube, being on camera.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you know what? I've tried high school, I tried college, I sucked at those things. I tried sales, I'm good, but it's obviously not scalable. I'm using my sweat and blood every day to make money for somebody else, where I collect the commission,
Yeah.
a pocket change of that money. So fuck it, I'll try YouTube. Hit up my boy with a camera. He had a crappy camera body and some random lens he had bought at a random place. It was like a 50-year-old like film lens that somehow fit into a DSLR.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how, but the zoom wouldn't work. We made a video called the Salt Shaker Prank on my channel. Got a couple hundred views on Facebook. Harassed all my friends list. Hey, can you please watch this, subscribe, like, and comment, give me feedback. Grew that shit little by little. I remember the first like 10 subscribers. I'm manually gathering them.
And this is on the channel Hooman TV.
Yeah, this is the channel.
This is the beginning.
Yeah. I started Hooman TV. It grew slow, so I'm like, I'm also gonna start other channels at the same time.
Yeah.
So I started a gaming channel, I started a fitness channel, and a vlog channel at the same time.
And is this 2012, 2013?
This is 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah, I started YouTube in 2014.
Gotcha.
Hooman TV was born in 2014.
2014.
All the other channels were born at the same time, but they all died. Gaming, I was great at gaming, but I'm
Yeah.
a perfectionist, and when my team sucks, I'm toxic. I'll cuss them motherfuckers
Yeah.
out. You fucking cocksucker! Why don't you come help me kill the da da da? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm so passionate. So if my team is like messing around, I'm like, dude, like I'm in this for the win.
Yeah, that's when you switch to the free for all lobby.
Yeah. So gaming, I would just, it was too intense. I would rage too much. It would affect my actual like mental health.
Oh my god.
It was like super competitive. So I stopped
Yeah.
that. And fitness, I'm naturally a skinny dude, so fitness wasn't gonna go anywhere. I'm not blessed with like muscle genetics, so that didn't go anywhere. Vlogs, I wasn't making enough money to actually do cool things,
Mm-hmm.
like on camera. So vlogs weren't interesting either.
Mm-hmm.
Pranks kept growing,
Yeah.
and the first year was slow. I think I had like 100,000 subscribers in the first year.
That's pretty fucking fast if you ask me, dude.
It was, man, but not when your competitors have 4 or 5 million.
Yeah.
It's just the bar is so high up there,
Mhm.
you know. But the second year, finally, when I figured out this YouTube algorithm that everyone
Yes.
keeps talking about, and all this SEO and this and that, when I finally figured it out, is when I just blew up
Yeah.
with the shampoo prank.
The shampoo prank. I remember when that came out, dude. That was everywhere.
Yeah.
Would that have been like 2015, 2016?
I think part 1 is 2016. Yeah, early January or February 2016. I had no idea it's gonna go mega viral. Posted it, a couple million views the first week. I'm like, what?
And it was from the algorithm.
Yeah, I had figured it out. I had figured out how to rank #1 in prank. When you search for prank,
Okay.
I had figured out how to get my video on page 1 on prank.
Gotcha. And so would you say you started the shampoo prank, or was it already kind of going on when you did it?
So shampoo prank was originally done by these like group of friends that are not YouTubers. They had just pranked their friend in
the
pool.
shop? Oh yeah. I seen
And
that
they had
video.
posted it on their like sister's channel like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'd seen it before, but I never really thought about it. Then one day I'm taking a shower, and as a kid I was always scared in the shower for having my eyes covered too much with soap,
Mhm.
because I can't see the monster in the fucking bathroom.
Right.
So I grew up always like scared, and the house we had in Persia was like in the middle of the jungle, the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
There's bears and shit around. Like, it
Damn.
was scary, and we had a brick house. So it was like an old house. So the shower room was like hella old school, very old.
Yeah.
So it was scary and creepy for a kid. There was
Yeah.
a lot of dark corners and holes
Yeah.
in the house. So I hated showering with my eyes closed, and I would always try and wash the shampoo off ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I'm like, as I'm making these videos, I'm like, wait a minute, why don't I make a video where I touch on that, like how everyone hates having their eyes closed so much in the shower, because everyone's a little paranoid about what could be outside the shower.
Mm-hmm.
So I made the video, and blew up. People were losing their shit. Justin Bieber shared it. Shaquille O'Neal. Dude, I'm a loser in high school. I don't get attention from anybody. And now I got Justin Bieber and Shaquille O'Neal
Oh my
sharing my
God.
video. I'm like, holy fuck.
What did
this
that
is
feel
crazy.
like? Like, what did that feel like?
I can't describe it. It's nothing I felt again to this day. It's just an immediate change in my life. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is this.
I'd imagine.
Here's this kid with no friends, never like a positive moment in his life where he could feel proud of what he's done. Because I've never really been great at anything.
Yeah.
Great on the scale of what I've just done with YouTube,
Yeah.
you know? So now when I'm watching all these celebrities post my stuff and, you know, talk about it this way, and all these people saying, I'm your fan. Bro, fan of what? Like, I never had friends, let alone fans. So that was overwhelming in a very positive way. I would go to bed thinking YouTube, how do I keep this going?
Yeah.
I love all this attention. Of course, money was great too.
Yeah.
I was getting checks in the mail from Google, because Google owns YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
All these fat checks were coming in. I'm making money overnight, whereas before I was making money when I'm selling,
Mm-hmm.
as I would sell stuff. Now I'm going to sleep, waking up, and it says like you made $3,000. I'm like, what?
Oh my
I didn't do
gosh.
shit overnight. I got 1 million views. I made $3,000.
And so, were you did this blow up while you were working at LA Fitness?
I quit.
So you quit to do YouTube full time. You made that commitment. What made you make that commitment?
I
And what
just
gave you the confidence to make that commitment?
as a kid, I always um it's weird, man. I've talked to other people who also had this. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is. I don't know what part of the personality causes this. But as a kid, I always knew I was going to be successful.
Yeah.
Even when I was like, even when I was at the bottom, I had no money. Like I said, my dad is abusive as a kid, so I didn't have the confidence. I was skinny in high school, got bullied. But even I always knew I was better. It's messed up to think and say, but I always knew something about me was better than other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always knew like my friends were better than me in sports, better looking, and I knew something about me deep inside. I could feel it was better than other people. So when I finally found YouTube and I found out about YouTube, I had already knew what I was capable of learning and doing and achieving with sales.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm like, why don't I apply the same way of learning, it's the same way I learned body language and sales skills in sales? Why don't I apply that hustle towards this? And this thing has no cap. It's scalable to the moon.
Still very
You
new.
could have 30 million subscribers and get 50 billion views overnight. There's no cap on it, right? So I saw the opportunity and I just knew it. I knew I was gonna figure it out. So it was a weird, cocky, confidence that I always had as a kid.
I can relate to that so much. Like
it's weird. It's like I feel like it's when they say you're born as an artist or whatever. I feel like this is like you either have it or you don't, and if you have it, you're destined to be an entrepreneur of some kind.
There's something deep in there. Like I'd always remember, like maybe I had a falling out with a friend, like this different like head. They call it the other self. Napoleon Hill actually does called the other self. It would like say like he's gonna really regret not hanging around you when time comes. Like when I dropped out of college, everyone's telling me I'm gonna be a failure. I'm like, I just knew they wouldn't. Like I remember in college, my friend Drew was like, how do you know, how are you so confident you're going to be successful? Like, what's your plan? And I go, the trick is there is no plan.
It's weird, man. It's weird. It's weird. And I almost want to call it something like negative, like I was being cocky, but I think you need that to survive as an entrepreneur because you're literally starting something from scratch where all odds are against you. Like I said, I wasn't good looking, funny, even had the money to start YouTube. I was an introvert to begin with, so I'm not some outgoing guy to be like, hey guys, hey, I'm gonna go out in public and do all this stuff and make myself a fool in front of all these people. I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
it was hard. But something about me knew, like, I have the drive, and I'm gonna learn what I lack. So whatever I'm not good at, I'm gonna fix.
You're gonna learn what you lack.
So my biggest problem on camera was I naturally have a lot of water weight here. So if I do this, I'll like gather up here. And back then in 2014, I was depressed. I was gaining a lot of weight. I hated how I looked on camera, looking like a ball.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna fix it. Started going to the gym, eating better, got rid of that. Then it was like I didn't know how to dress properly yet. They call it like color matching or whatever with clothes. I was wearing the stupidest. If you watch my old videos, you're like, what the fuck is this guy wearing? Because I'm like, no one's gonna watch a guy consistently that they can't relate to on a style basis, you know. So I figured out my style, like what's my style. Figured that out and figured out how to make people like me on camera, want to subscribe to me. All those things were not. I wasn't a natural. You know what I mean? Like you said, Danny Duncan, right? Yeah. We were talking about him. Danny Duncan is a YouTuber, and you can just tell he's recording himself being himself.
Yeah.
That's just who he is. He was born to be that guy. I wasn't born to be a YouTuber, or to even be on camera. But I wanted to succeed in that world so bad because I knew how much money these YouTubers were making. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out, all of it.
Yeah, I think the big difference is 98% of people think in fear, and that 2% think in faith. And I think maybe that's what that voice is. Because I read a book about that recently, about how your intuition is really your other self, which is thinking in faith. When thinking in fear is the actual devil himself. So like,
I agree, and that's a very deep conversation.
Yeah, like, and it's crazy in the book. Which
book is this?
It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. Have you read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle?
No.
Very similar, man. Really? I like that you brought that up because what you just said has changed my life dramatically.
Same.
The real devil is the false identity that we call the false ego that makes you have fear of the past based on what's happened to you, and worry of the future as to what might happen based on your past.
Yeah.
That holds you back from living the now with 100% capacity of who you are and what you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
Mind blown,
dude,
when I found that out.
It's wild. The devil talks about how he goes, I am the negative ion in every atom. I am the negative thought in every brain. I don't live in any location, but I live in negativity. And I have 98% of the people in this world under my spell. So it's like, holy shit. And he talks about how he's done it through, he tricks church leaders and parents and teachers to teach about the devil in terms of fear. So people are fearing the devil from the beginning. From a little kid, they might go to hell, they're scared. You're teaching that kid from the very beginning to think in fear.
Fear.
And it's ironic that it's because they're teaching about the devil himself. It's wild. But when you think in faith, anything's possible. And that obviously we can tell with your story that that's the truth. And I know you did, how many shampoo pranks have you done at this point?
15.
15. And it was part 7. That's like the one that really blew up.
So the beginning ones always blew up. But yeah, part 7 just never fucking stopped.
What do you think it was, that thumbnail? It was that huge guy at the beach, right?
It's just the way things happened in that video. I had a bodybuilder that I pranked. I had a couple that I pranked. I had 2 girls that were like fighting each other. It was just the perfect video as far as like reaction. That video has 80 million views on that video on my YouTube channel.
Just on YouTube.
On Facebook, it has almost 300 million views.
What?
That video has been seen by 500 million people.
Probably will be 1 billion eventually. That's wild.
All shampoo pranks total, I don't even know how much the number is, but I think it's a few billion people.
Well, you're like 4 or 5 billion in views, right? Total on YouTube?
On YouTube, it's like 2 billion, I think.
2 billion.
Facebook, it's close to that. But then other people steal my videos and post it in weird places as well.
So you really don't know.
Yeah, I rarely meet someone who hasn't seen a shampoo prank. They might not recognize me as the guy that does it, but I'll be like in Indonesia or something. And like somehow we'll be talking about YouTube, and my friends will show someone the shampoo prank, and they'll be like, "Oh yes, I've seen this."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, this is the guy that did it." And they're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So I'll be like in weird parts of the planet, and they'll see the shampoo price, and it's a weird feeling.
I bet.
Weird feeling, very very overwhelming, but very instant sense of pride.
Yeah, and I bet that, like, at least for me, when someone recognizes me in public, that is fuel to me. Like, that's just kind of like confirmation, like what you're doing is working. Because when I moved out here, like, I'm not from here, obviously, but I was getting recognized 1 to 2 times a week, just like driving by, walking by, and I'm
like, Zac Efron?
No. See, so when I first came out here, that was the case. That happened a couple of times. In San Diego, these girls were 100% convinced I was, because they saw me from afar. I just waved at them and kept walking. But
I'll take that. I'll take the look.
Well, see, that was another thing. So people always bring up the Zac Efron thing. In a sense, I always felt like I was living in that guy's shadow, because people would always bring that up. And my original Instagram name was Efron is my cousin. I blew up on GIF Boom. Do you remember GIF Boom? Right before Vine, it was Vine with no sound. I blew up on GIF Boom. This was back, like, this Instagram hadn't even came out yet, but I had like 20,000 followers on GIF Boom. Instagram came out, and then my followers on Instagram started shooting up. But then I started getting bullied at school because of it, because they thought I was like some kid, because nobody knew anything about Instagram or anything. They thought I was just like some kid posting pictures of myself. Like, everyone immediately said I was cocky, when really I almost had no confidence in myself at the time. I was just posting pictures because it was getting likes, but that caused me to not pursue that. And I always look at that situation because it's interesting how, if I would have just listened to those people my whole life, I'd probably be where those people are right now in life. But luckily,
crazy looking back at them, right? Most of them are living the same life.
The exact same life, going to the bar every night, talking shit. Like, it's that thinking in fear, dude. And misery loves company. Misery loves company. I don't know, man. The mentality of most people, it does seem like they're under a spell. You meet some people, and they're like, in terms of college degrees, I've met people, and I don't think I'm better than anybody else, but they will think they're better than me because they have a college degree. Even if I'm making whatever 12 times more than them, they'll like look down on me because I don't have a college degree. And what I've noticed recently, it's very interesting what people attach their confidence to. Like very interesting. A lot of people, they take full confidence in maybe their car, or all their confidence is tied up in their job. But I don't see a lot of people who take their full confidence in themselves. And I think that's the key.
It's hard, man. To this day, I don't know if I have the full confidence in myself. I think partially it's got something to do with my childhood and the way I was raised. But it's tough. Even me, for a while, my confidence was attached to my followers
Yeah.
and my cars or whatever I was buying. But that, you're right. It's unhealthy, and to be truly happy, you got to have confidence in yourself, and you got to be happy with yourself. And it's also cool that you've achieved all these cool things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's just we think we have figured out the human mind and how it works, but I don't think we've touched past 10%. And I think, like you said, there is a power out there that doesn't want us to figure out the real gears that make the mind move. Because and I think the proof is that the way society is heading. I mean, find me one person that agrees that society is not heading towards a very dark place.
Yeah.
Compared to 40, 50 years ago, look at dating, look at how people treat themselves and each other. Look at the music industry, man. The movie industry. Look at the direction it's going. I'm not saying it's the end of the world now, but 50 years ago, like in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
In high school, if a girl sent you a nude, it was, hey, you send this to somebody else, I will beat your ass.
Yeah.
Don't share this. That's why Snapchat partially was made. Oh, share news and instantly gone.
Yep.
Now you could buy some 19-year-old chick's news 5 for $20.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
so and that's okay. Maybe okay. I don't judge. You do you, right? Everyone's got their own free will. Okay, but how are things gonna change when I'm a dad and I got my kid who's in high school in like 60 more years, 50 more years? What's gonna be the norm then?
That's why I was talking about that a couple days ago. I'm really concerned with this iPad at the table generation growing up, because I've never seen more lack of parenting. I see a lot of these parents just give them the kid the iPad, give them the kid the phone. That's the new parent right there. Google is your new parent. YouTube's your new parent. Google and YouTube had a baby, and that's what's growing up right now. And so now we're seeing kids get very corrupt from the beginning. Not to hate on TikTok, but TikTok's doing a lot of that. There's a lot of very bizarre things I'm seeing on TikTok, and I know the age demographic on TikTok, and I've seen, like, I don't know, man. I agree with you, but I try to keep a better faith that things are gonna. It's kind of like the stock market, how like it's gonna go down, like in the Great Depression, but after everything, I know eventually it's gonna grow up. We live in the greatest country in the world. But I 100% agree with this corruption. Like what is mainstream right now wouldn't even be able to be shown 40 years ago, even 30 years ago.
Look at the music industry.
The music industry, dude.
Blows my mind. My friends send me these songs. Hey, will you do a dance with me on TikTok to WAP?
To WAP, yeah.
I'm like, and I watched the video they've made of them dancing to it. I'm like, can you hear the lyrics of this girl talking about her like wet ass, you know what? I'm like,
yeah.
That's okay to say now? When I was in high school, if a girl said that, it would be the end of the world. Expelled from school and this and that. Now it's like, oh yeah, I'm an OnlyFans. It's like a career. I got OnlyFans and I make TikToks to WAP. I got a WAP.
Yeah. And like you said, there's nothing wrong with that per se. But in most cases, they don't really understand the extent of what they're doing.
It's just I think it's the direction it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're up here right now. We're not drowning, but if every day we kept this podcast going, every day we're a little lower. With that data, right? You could say it's safe to say if at this rate we're gonna be in the pool.
Yeah.
And eventually we're gonna fucking drown. The lighting has changed, by the way. You want to check out the camera?
No, actually, so
the
aperture priority. It
see.
just keeps the aperture going, so we should be still pretty good.
Smart. You thought ahead.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have.
But so you're 20, you're
27 now.
Yeah, 27.
How old are you?
I'm 20. I just turned 25. And
time passes by fast.
we're with with the iPad at table generation, basically these kids growing up internet, because obviously you remember time without the internet, and I remember time without the internet, but these kids growing up who don't, there's a good and a bad side to that, right? Like obviously they're probably looking at porn when they're 7, you know, all this. It's really bad, and what it boils down to is
What you just said is so fucked. That is
yeah.
so true.
And the main culprit of all this is instant gratification. You see that on TikTok. If, okay, I'm an 11-year-old girl, I'm not getting any likes, but I did a TikTok with a swimsuit on to the WAP dance, and it's 2 million views. I think I cracked the algorithm. All I got to do is show my body more, and I get this instant gratification. And then people, like all these kids are watching porn. And so when they meet a girl and they're not having sex with her in a couple hours, fuck her, dude. I don't ever want to talk to her again. I've seen this with my own eyes from like the younger generation. And it's just like, I think at the end of the day, it all boils down to instant gratification is going to be the death of this society, because people are not rewarded. Like the OnlyFans shit. This girl who could have made a badass modeling career if she would have just stuck with it 2 to 3 years, and now she's making $15,000 for photo shoots. She chose to get an OnlyFans and make that monthly, and then that's where she stops. Because, truth be told, I don't really see big models having an OnlyFans. I mean, like Cardi B and stuff like that, but that's more of like a joke. These kids, these girls are
Cardi B has OnlyFans?
Yeah, she is actually the most paid OnlyFans person, celebrity at least. But it's unbelievable, and it's weird how it's controversial for us to even talk about this right now. But I don't really care. I mean, we're just keeping it real, and we're keeping it sensible. Morals are getting thrown out the window right now, but morals are what keeps a society from just not getting corrupted and not having a huge downfall. So something's gonna pop. We all know it. This is going to something, and it's gonna pop one day. We're in a bubble right now.
I think it was Edison that said the next world war won't be fought with guns, but it'll be fought with like swords and wood.
Yeah, sticks and stones.
That's what it was. Yeah. So I think I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's look at 2020. Look how crazy it's been.
This has been the craziest year of my entire life.
I grew up. I was here 2007, 09. It was normal years. Once in a while, some major bad thing would happen.
Yeah.
But it'll be quickly replaced with some positivity. Now it's just everyone's getting exposed. Ellen said this. Cops are doing this. Riots and Trump and virus and economy and, like you said, take OnlyFans and kids watching things they shouldn't be watching.
Cuties on Netflix. Did you see that?
Yeah. All right. Now
we're going in a completely different direction. Let me get back to the YouTube thing, okay? Yeah. Because you said once you crack the algorithm, that's when things start taking off. I remember you mentioned to me before one of your big cracks was you found that shampoo prank in a different language, that nobody was doing that. Yeah. Is that one of the main contributors to when you took off on YouTube? I just can't believe we went on that huge tangent, dude. That was sick.
Yeah. I'm a deep thinker, man.
Me too.
I'll go down the rabbit hole with you. That's the phrase, right? Down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. So going back to algorithm and SEO, right? Mm-hmm. When you search for prank, right, the algorithm connects you to YouTube videos and channels out there that I've typed in the word prank in English as a way to describe what that video is. So the algorithm, it's like as if you walk into a grocery store, you're like, hey, I want juice.
Yeah.
The employee says, juice. Oh, there's a juice sign right there. Okay, juice is right there. Go there, right?
Yeah.
So the algorithm is saying, all right, so you want to watch pranks because that's what you search for? Here you go, pranks, because these videos have labeled themselves pranks. Mm-hmm. But then that's only English. Yeah. So what happens if I'm Arabic and I search for pranks in my language? Mm-hmm. Do I go watch Arabic channels? Yes.
Yeah.
But what if there was a channel out there that had SEO, as in keywords on that channel and video in multiple different languages? So one of the ways I blew up my channel was I started to use all my top countries that I know are getting me a lot of views. Mm-hmm. I wanted to grow my seeds more in those countries.
Brilliant.
So I wanted to make my presence even stronger in Indonesia, as it already was a little bigger than in Arabic countries. So I did it a little bit as a test. Instant ROI. I started trending worldwide dramatically. Then the next thing was, all right, cool. But what if I add foreign subtitles to my video? So not only I'm using SEO in foreign language to show up in their search results, but But what if I make their viewing experience better and have them actually understand what they're watching by providing subtitles in their language? Now, and it worked. I was dating a Japanese girl at the time.
Mm-hmm.
My Japan viewership percentage was page 3 in my like countries.
Yeah.
Non-existent. I had no fans in Japan. But she was Japanese and she was free. So I was like, hey, can you make subtitles for all my videos? So she would sit next to me
That's
every day,
awesome.
type subtitles for all my pranks. And dude, now I think Japan's like my fourth country
Wow.
in viewership. So it also had an immediate ROI because people were searching for my videos, and I had used Japanese SEO, so they would find my videos.
Mm-hmm.
They would watch it, not understand English, but read the Japanese subtitles.
Wow.
So now they would watch the whole video, which affected my retention and watch time. And then they would share it because they're like, this is funny. I want my Japanese friends to see it, and I know they'll like it because they can understand it. It's an English video, but there's Japanese subtitles on the video. So it worked. And then I found more loopholes. It's always about just having that peacock theory mindset, doing, because I can't compete with Vitaly, for example. He's a prank channel. I was inspired by him, but I'll sit here and say he makes better pranks than I do. He's ballsier. He's been arrested and jumped and this and that. He is a better prankster. He's a natural born prankster. I wasn't. But I think what helped me in a way beat him in viewership sometimes is I decided to think outside the box and things like SEO and algorithm. So he was very good at scaling vertically with awesome pranks. But I kept up with them, even though I didn't have as awesome of crazy of pranks. But I was expanding horizontally with things like different language SEO and different language subtitles and hacking the algorithm and understanding SEO.
Well, yeah, that's something. That's probably the biggest thing that you taught me, because before I met you, and just for everyone to be clear, I met you, I think it was like January 2020, right? That's when we first linked up. Yeah, because you hit, okay, yeah. And before this, I was like, well, I do e-commerce videos, so I should be tagging other e-commerce people who do YouTube, right? So I'm tagging Jay Rich, I'm tagging Sebas Bedoya, all these people. And when you do pranks like Vitaly, a lot of people approach YouTube. They're like, well, I want to be like in that same category, so I'm gonna tag Vitaly, I'm gonna do this. But you explained to me very, like, I'll never forget it, dude. Like, you really changed my YouTube game after I met you. It's like, you don't put tags in for anything other than what you think people will be searching for your specific video. But you can also do stuff with the description to link it, kind of. But that keyword thing you taught me changed my life, because I remember when the riots were happening in Colorado, I went out to Colorado for a month and I did a vlog about it.
That's right. I remember you going out there.
And when you search Colorado on incognito anywhere in the world, I was number 3. It was like Colorado riots. Next one, raw footage, everyone's sitting down. And then it's just me like driving to Colorado to the shipping container house. And it was just me with my spray painted car. And then it's just more protest stuff. So it's like, that's when I really understood the power, because I'd never been to Colorado on footage. I never filmed anything with Colorado. I never mentioned Colorado. But when you type in that entire state for that moment, I was front page for Colorado. And so now that's what I've been applying in St. Louis. Like, and if you search St. Louis podcasts, it's all simplified podcasts. I'm number 1, you know? If you search St. Louis for a lot of my videos, like, I've been number 1 for St. Louis multiple times for my recent vlogs. That is so much power that I don't think everyone can understand, but I hope they now understand that if you know what you're doing, you can take almost any term relatively and rank and have anyone who search that in the world find your video right there, right in front of them, completely free.
Yeah, that's what it takes. Most people think to be a successful prank channel or makeup channel or gaming channel, you have to make only good videos. It's all about the good video, right? But the algorithm doesn't know what the fuck the video is. The algorithm can't watch the video and be like, damn, this guy got 44 kills on one death, front page, right? Viral. It doesn't know that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta give the algorithm the data it needs to fully feel comfortable and confident showing this video as the number 1 to anyone that searches for Call of Duty or gaming. Same thing with makeup, same thing with gaming. It's a very fine balance between how good the video is, which is the most important part. Because at the end of the day, when the viewer does come, They gotta watch the video, watch the whole thing, enjoy it, like it, and stay on YouTube.
Yep.
But if your SEO is perfect, like if
Yeah.
you hired me to do your SEO and it's just fucking perfect, right? And I bring the viewers in, but the video sucks. The person clicks the video, it's 10 minutes, they watch for a minute.
Yeah.
So now you got 10% retention. The person leaves the YouTube platform because they're disgusted. So now you lost YouTube a viewer because they left and they went on Instagram. They didn't like or dislike. They didn't comment. They didn't share. All red flags.
Yep.
So it's both. But the biggest thing I always say is it's not just about the videos. Stop just focusing on the videos. Learn the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's like when you open a restaurant in let's say you move to China right now to open a restaurant. You're a passionate chef.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about how good the food is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't open a restaurant there and put Spanish letters, right? You have to communicate with the locals, the customers,
Yep.
through the language, the Chinese language. So you have Chinese menu, Chinese website, Chinese hosts, Chinese servers. YouTube, you could have the best food, the best videos, but you got to communicate with the algorithm, the gatekeeper, the customers. And you do that by the language, which is the algorithm.
Yeah.
SEO.
And just to put things in context, the first video that I tried after meeting Hooman was stock trading $10,000 in 1 week. I never made a stock trading video ever. And that blew up. I think it's at like 160,000 views. It's my second most viewed. Well, actually now with the Tesla video, that Tesla video is going to be my most viewed video by far. And it was all stuff that it wouldn't have never happened if I didn't learn everything you taught me. But when that stock trading video went out, that is really when it showed me the most, because I'm not a stock trader at the time. First time stock trading ever, yet I'm getting front page for stock trading. Fuck the other stock traders, bitch. I'm in this.
See, they might be more knowledgeable than you. They might be making better stock trading videos than you.
100%.
But the algorithm reads the data on your video, the SEO, the tags, the title, the description, the comments, and it feels more confident showing your video to viewers that search for stock trading videos than actually better stock trading videos by better gurus, because they don't understand the algorithm. The average stock trading guru or makeup channel or prank channel, they put all their effort in making the best fucking video out there. Then they spend 5 minutes clicking upload. They don't even put the tags.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck the algorithm does or is, or what, how to hack it. So it's literally a balance of both, doing both.
And there's so many people out right now who'd probably be massively famous on YouTube. They have the content. They just know nothing about the algorithm at all. And it's a shame. I'm sure a lot are watching it right now where there's like I know these videos are really good. I just don't know why I'm only getting this many views. And it comes down to, like, I guess when it goes back to the restaurant analogy, you can have the best food, but if in your bad location, it might not work out. Or you can have the best location in terms of algorithm, but if your food's shitty, it's not going to work out. You got to have best location and the best food to have the best restaurant. And that's what you really taught me. And you have a course on all this, correct?
I have a course. Yeah, it's not public. I experimented with being a YouTube guru and running ads as, hey guys, I'm here if you need me, buy my course. But I told you just before, I'm disgusted by the whole guru business online. I think there's so many people that have scammed people with bad courses. A lot of slimy
people out there.
So when I did try it initially and had to make those VSL, the video sales letter videos, hey guys, buy my course.
Oh yeah.
It just didn't feel right. So I have a course. It's out there. People hit me up on my DM saying, hey, I have a YouTube channel or I want to start and I'm looking for mentorship. What's your price that's worth your time and what can you do for me? Mm-hmm. And I talk to them to make sure actually they have what it takes to succeed in the genre they want to get into. And if I see the elements I need to see to know that they'll be successful, then I'm like, all right, here's the next step.
Gotcha. So I remember watching, you only had one highlights on your Instagram profile where it showed your entire story. Do you still have that up? That was really incredible because like everything you're talking about right now, I'm like visualizing, because I remember that video. It was like, I remember the picture of your bed. I remember the picture of your dad on the computer. Oh my God. I remember the picture of yourself. Like you were pretty like chubby, right? Back then. I remember that. And it's like, that doesn't even look like Hooman. Like I could see in your eyes, like right now compared to then, it's like you're a different person. That was a really powerful highlight I guess, you highlight reel.
And those pictures were pictures where I felt good enough to take a picture of myself.
Wow.
There was darker pictures where it was so fucked. I didn't even want to point a camera at myself and take a picture.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fucking remember that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think every person I know who is very successful and humble that I would want to be around has had a very fucked up past.
Mm-hmm.
You meet them, they're on a podcast, they'll share some stuff, but there's so many more fucked up things that have happened to them they don't share publicly or even talk about. But everyone I know who's made a lot of money and they're doing big things, they've came from very fucked up places. Because they already experienced the lowest of the lowest, and they're like, fuck that, I don't want to go back there. I just want to go up, and I want to keep climbing and not mess around, because I don't want to do anything that'll put me back down there.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, and I've also heard Joe Rogan say that before, and he's like, I'm in a weird predicament because like I'm in a position where I can give my kids everything, but the most interesting, coolest people I know had fucked up childhood, so it's like, what do I do here? And then he talked about that issue that they're having in San Francisco where these kids are born into billionaire families or hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're killing themselves because they don't know what to do. You have to have the lows to have the highs. If you're born into like extreme wealthiness and then you're just like, okay, this is your ticket to life, this is what you're going to do, you're going to do this until you're this age, and then you're going to take over and do this. It's like free thinking, free accurate thought is really how you discover yourself, and unfortunately a lot of people don't have that opportunity to ever get there. Yeah. And like you said at the beginning, it's like the most successful people not only had like a kind of like a fucked up childhood, but they learned how to and had the confidence to do something that other people weren't. And that was me. I always thought it was weird everyone would dress the same. There's a weird little thing about me. I had such an extreme mind even as a kid about not being like everybody else. I don't know if I told you this, but around the 3rd grade, I saw everyone was washing their hands all the time. I don't want to fucking wash my hands. I went 2 years without washing my hands. This is 100%. So 3rd to 5th grade. This is not recent, but basically I remember like everyone would be washing their hands, and the teacher would like make sure everyone was washing their hands, and I would just like fake it. I like put my hands around it. I like when I squirt the soap, it would just go into the sink, so they couldn't tell. I just made it look like it, and I just
wanted to feel different.
Yeah, it was more so like when everyone was doing one thing, I had no attraction to do it whatsoever. Got super sick in the 4th grade, 3rd grade actually, because of it. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to figure it out. But ever since then, I've been sick like 4 times in my life. Like that really, it's same with this eye thing. Like I haven't explained this eye thing to everybody yet. I'll explain it one day. But
you did not get jumped.
Yeah, there was no fight. But I didn't want to.
There was a fight with a very small
Yeah. But I didn't want it to. I didn't want to put any moisturizer on it. I didn't want to go to the doctor. I didn't want to do anything to it because I know that if I allowed the body, I had the confidence in my body to take care of it itself, and I know once it did, I'm gonna be just that much better. That's why I really like have a really strong fucking immune system because of that. And I actually didn't wash my hair for 3 years around that same time, so I was all fucked up as a kid. I was very, very out there. I was the only one who skateboarded in my entire school, the only one. So I was usually just skateboarding by myself like all the time. I played sports, but I was so much more attracted to skateboarding. And I think a lot of that had to do with nobody else was skateboarding. And so when I was doing YouTube videos, no one else was doing YouTube videos. That's why I did so many, because nobody, I knew. Exactly. I know. I'm like, nobody else is doing this. And that's where I was getting my confidence from as a kid, doing what other people weren't. Yeah. And I think it's like, it's just a weird thing. It must go way back in our genetics, and like when we were in like tribes and stuff, when someone was a little different, they kind of like got extranized. I don't even know what word I'm trying to think of, like pushed away from the group because they're a little different. Not anymore. The different are shining right now. The truly different people, they are shining right now. Yeah, it's like recently I unfollowed all people who like were all the same. Like a lot of models, like females here in Los Angeles, like the really attractive ones. It's like, dude, I see these pictures all day and I get zero motivation from it. Like I like following people who motivate me. And I don't know. Have you ever thought about just deactivating all socials for like a while?
Yeah, It's a little harder for me because I make my money from social media.
Same, yeah.
But there's definitely been times where I've thought about like just disappearing off social media and going on like a year traveling the world and starting fresh. To this day, I don't think social media is my calling. It's not my destiny. What I'm really good at.
Yeah.
I mean, I met you because I wanted to try Shopify. Remember, I wanted to hack the algorithms of Shopify and Facebook ads and apply the same knowledge there. And now I'm thinking about stocks. But it's just one day I gotta leave this social media world. I don't. It's not what I'm supposed to do.
I could see you being a massive stock trader because you're so into algorithmic things. That's basically what stocks are: price action, like moving average lines, VWAPs. It's like you have the brain for sure to just be a phenomenal. I guarantee it, dude. Like it's. And
one day we'll make a video and we'll talk about this video.
Yeah.
We talked about me potentially doing it, but yeah, it's kind of pathetic in a way actually, because we're talking about like being strong and strong-willed and stuff. I knew social media wasn't my ultimate business for me in 2017.
So you knew
I knew it, man.
Do you remember like exactly when? Because I knew you're introverted and everything, but was there a moment where you're like, oh, I don't know?
Because I had more friends like you. I had more friends that were making millions from Shopify, and they're hiding behind a laptop. That their face isn't out there. They're not making pranks and shit, getting jumped by people, getting punched, and they're just making so much money. And they had full control over it. They could just close a store, go open a new one, take the data, retarget them, do all this crazy stuff. It's almost like if I gave you like a GoPro, I'm like, go be a pro photographer with this. Or if I give you a Red, with Red, there's so much more you can do. It's more exciting. The way I look at Shopify, e-commerce, or now even stocks is what I can do with it, how much I can build it with it and learn and achieve financially is so much more than YouTube. The richest YouTuber I think is like, what? Let's say it's Logan Paul. Let's just say, or David Dobrik. I would be surprised if they got more than $25-30 million. I would be very surprised. Who is the richest e-commerce guy?
Right.
Gymshark.
Who's the richest stock trader? Dude?
Stock trader. Whoa. So I knew this in 2017, but it's been a toxic relationship. It's with a hot girl. The sex is perfect, so you stay, but her personality sucks.
Yeah.
So with YouTube, the money is so good, so it's kept me around. But every night I go to bed, I'm like, I'm not supposed to be dating this chick, this YouTube thing, So, I'm at a point right now where I've saved enough money so I can afford to make the wrong choice by quitting social media and be okay for a few years. So I got the itch is very strong, man. So I think I'm gonna make the move and just fucking try it.
Yeah, I watched the Joe Rogan podcast on that. I wish I could remember the guy's name, but he was a huge guy in Silicon Valley, deep in the ass, making tons of money, and he is now like a master in just happiness, bringing people happiness, and fulfillment, fulfillment. And he goes, when people come to me and they ask, how can I be happy? How can I be fulfilled? How can I find my calling, more like it? He goes, well, first, let's get you rich first. Then you have the monetary and time freedom to really go deep into yourself and discover who you are. It's really interesting. We talked about this earlier where I was like, earlier this year, I don't know if you remember, but I was like, I'm kind of burnt out on ecom. Like, I really like doing YouTube. Like, I've been doing YouTube forever. I want to start doing like more vlog type pranks. And you're like, I'm kind of burnt out on YouTube. I've been doing YouTube forever, but I really am interested in doing more like ecom stuff. And it's like we're kind of like meeting each other at like a crossing path like that. And but would you say money's your main motivator? What's the main motivator?
It has been. I've always heard that stupid cliche saying, "Oh, chase happiness," and I've always thought it was stupid. But now I'm realizing it's not stupid. It's the truth.
I realized that when I went back to fucking St. Louis. And I was looking at all these people being like, like Warren Buffett, lives in the same house, even though he's a billionaire. And that's great for him. But environment is everything, I've learned. Environment is everything. Like we're out here in this beautiful, beautiful house right now doing this podcast. Would this podcast have the same energy, the same vibe, everything if it was like a studio in Koreatown or something like that?
You know what's funny? That was my last place.
Really? That's where I started. That's where I started. 5 of us in a studio in Koreatown on Normandy and Wilshire.
Oh shit!
Do you know where that is? Like there's probably like 6 different families who lived on the street on our block. I saw 2 people I saw this gas station get robbed with AK-47s.
Gas stations?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not the gas station, the corner store. I was walking to it, 7 cop cars. And we didn't have enough money to even take Ubers. We were taking the metro, dude, and only riding skateboards. So many sketchy things, but that just made me love LA so much more. I'm like, every time I leave this shitty apartment, it's a fucking movie.
Adventure.
It's an adventure. Yeah, yeah.
Like a rock by AK-47.
Exactly. I don't know. A bloody homeless man might enter the bus and start fighting us. Like that happened. Like
That sounds exaggerated to some of the viewers watching, but that is
Man.
literally LA. Like you go out and you just see fucked up shit happening all day.
I saw some normal lady get dragged by a homeless lady. The normal lady was on drugs. The homeless lady was sober, and she ended up beating the shit out of this because this normal looking lady. This is why you shouldn't judge books by their cover, I guess. Was acting a dick, dude. She was like sitting on the pickup window, and the homeless lady's like, "Get the fuck off the pickup window! I'm waiting for my food." She's like, "No, I'm not going anywhere."
You saw this happen?
This is yesterday in Venice, and then the homeless crew came over. They like took her off. They dragged her. The cops came. They're like, we got better things to deal with. So the cops came. They're like, "I'm about to beat this bitch's ass." That's right. Come here, bitch. And she takes her wooden stick. She drops it. The regular looking lady, but the one on drugs, picks it up and hits her. Big mistake. That homeless lady rips that stick back and starts smacking her, cracking her ribs probably in half. The other guy comes over. I'm not the type of person to videotape something like this, but yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, there's multiple people videotaping it, so I'm sure if you go on Snap Map, it'll probably be on there or something. But they dragged her on the concrete, dude, on her bare skin. Like it was really bad. And then at the end of the day, she finally started walking away, but she stole like the pizza slices for $1.99 sign, like on the way out. So I was like, damn, you really never know what you're gonna see out here. But it's like I don't know about you, but I have a love-hate relationship with Los Angeles and just mainly Los Angeles. I hate that I love it.
Yeah, it's very high vibration energy, which is what you need to be around to be successful as an entrepreneur, because it's constant growth and people in a rush to get to a next meeting. But it can also be bad because if you're naturally a little stressed, being around that can make your stress even worse. So that's the way I deal with it, is I travel. So I'll stay here, I'll work and deal with the homeless people fighting and the traffic and all the fuckery that comes with living in LA. But then I'll travel to some chill place for 10 days. Like I'm leaving Monday in 2 days to Colombia to just clear my head for 10 days. No bullshit, no craziness, no work.
Yeah.
Just no expectations, no plans. Just show up in nature and just figure it out.
When I moved to LA, 2 weeks in, I took my first vacation, dude. I was out of here. I'm like, I need to get out of here. There's just so many people. That's what I said when I came here. I was like, dude, I try to make a U-turn. I'm not making that U-turn because cars will not start coming.
So last time you lived here, that was your first time living here.
That was my 4th time living here.
Oh, because you used to do Uber here, huh?
I first moved here. I worked at La Scala in Beverly Hills when I was living in Koreatown because my friend's mom paid for some studio, and they got scammed pretty bad. They're paying like $3,500 a month for this studio. No AC, no heat, nothing. It was like horrible. But I would take the metro there every day and back. But I loved it. Loved it so much. Just in La Scala. Oh, Jay Leno's here, all this stuff. And then I went back to college. One day in college, I dropped out. Worked as a busser for 2 years. Came back as an Uber driver. Drove Uber for 3 months. Right before November, I'm like, something happened with my rent, Airbnb. It's a long story, but I started my drop shipping store. On the drive back home,
Started making money.
Never had to make a job again. Came back 5 months later, and my whole idea, this is when I really started really understanding that who I thought I was is not who I am. I was like, my whole life, I'm like, I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I just want to make enough money and then have the money be automated so I could do whatever all day. I did that with my dropshipping store. I moved out here in April. I get a room in Marina del Rey. I go to the beach every single day, all day long. I'm just chilling. I'm making $30,000 a month at this point, and all I'm doing is just at the beach smoking weed, dude, all day long. I'll hit the gym, go home, and I could like literally bike to the beach. I did that every day, and I go, you know what? I know I'm making this amount of money. This is leading to a very unfulfilled life. I need to find a direction essentially. Because at the time I wasn't doing Seattle. Are you talking about when I like oh yeah, Seattle. Yeah. But that was back in April.
Oh, okay.
This was April 2018. And then a year and a half later after that I moved back and then went to Seattle. I went on many trips. Like I would just like go to Colorado. I love Colorado. Have you been there?
Colorado? I don't think so, man. But I've heard crazy good things.
Oh, you would love it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
go-
love traveling too, man. Road trips, especially.
Mhm.
The drive, my mind is so clear. The best ideas I've had have been during traveling.
Same.
It's I think it's only because my mind is cleared, but something else also happens that I can't really describe. I think it's like if my future was like a puzzle, and my past and what I've done has been like some parts of the puzzle that are appearing in there. Whenever I travel, it's like a boost. I get a few more puzzle pieces pop.
Yeah.
Like it completes me in a way. I bring back this additional part of me. It's so hard to explain it, man. But every time I've traveled, I've came back a better, bigger, more completed person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess it's just being exposed to different environments,
Cultures, food, lifestyle.
and it just triggers that one thing you needed.
Because you think you know life, you think you know what makes you happy, what you want, and then you go to Thailand where they got no money, and you're like, is money my happiness? Because
Yeah.
people here are happy, but they got no fucking money. They're walking around with no shoes on,
Yeah.
but they're happy. So it kind of makes you reconsider your fears and what you like and what makes you happy, you know.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you touch base with your real self
Hmm.
before learn about money and time and all this crap. The good old baby you were that was just happy, period.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Tapping into that inner child.
yeah.
And that's what I try to keep. Some people like say, oh, you're immature for acting this way. It's like, I don't know, man. At the end of the day,
Yeah, I'm also a millionaire immature.
Exactly.
So clearly something's working.
dude, I was on Twitter, which Twitter is the worst social media in the world. I saw Elon Musk say, he said Call of Booty. That like
I
he
saw that.
he made that tweet. Do you see the responses?
No.
It was just like from all these people saying like you're an immature. Like, aren't you supposed to be a businessman? All these people are talking to an actual billionaire right now.
Probably work at Walmart.
Work out, or they have like a sales job selling solar or something, and they like, yes. And this is my theory behind most hate that people send celebrities when they do something weird or something like that. Like, yes, this is my time to feel superior. I felt inferior to this person my whole life. This is the time when I can feel superior. You are an
I caught you making a
immature
mistake.
asshole. Yes. And now they're on their high horse when really the reality is
They're just envious.
exactly. And he has the luxury of truly being able to be whoever he wants. What kind of billionaire CEO would go on Joe Rogan and smoke weed? But he knows what he's doing, dude. Tesla doesn't advertise. Elon Musk himself is the main attractor to that brand. And I saw that.
The guy is an absolute genius, man. I don't know. I want to go inside his mind and think from his perspective. Have you seen how he talks and how his eyes move?
Yeah.
Like when you think, you look around for a little bit, you can kind of come back. I've literally paid attention to his body language more than his actual voice, because when you listen to him, you get distracted. You don't pay attention to the body movements. But when he's really thinking about deep shit, right before he says some crazy deep sentence, you look at his eyes; they're like a fucking computer. It's like you literally see his eyeballs move.
Yeah.
It's scary, man. It's like
Yeah.
Well, what I think, it's like fucking the craziest thing he says that people are like, wow, this guy is so visionary.
You should read his biography.
His?
Yeah. It's not an autobiography, so he didn't write it, but it was by this guy named Leslie. And it's funny. The book starts off with Elon Musk like asks his assistant to get him cookies and cream ice cream cone, and then he gets the cone, and the guy's like, and here I am watching Elon Musk with ice cream all over his face talk about how he's gonna conquer the world with electric cars and how he's gonna save the world from climate change by having all this solar stuff. And meanwhile, he just like has ice cream like all over his face. That's a guy that's probably the most successful person I know who's really stayed true to himself. Like I've never had one inclination of like, oh, this guy's acting out a character. That Elon you see is the truest form of Elon that he's probably ever been at, and he continues to be at.
Yeah, I do feel that. I do feel that when I watch him speak as well.
Authenticity, man. At the end of the day, authenticity is going to be the main attributor in a world full of so many fake people, so many people trying to be like everybody else, especially in a city like this. What's actually making people stand out now is the people who are themselves completely. Like, do you know that one kid on YouTube, the food reviewer who always wears that suit and has the red hair slicked back, and he's like this pale ass kid? You never seen that? He's like really weird, but he's getting millions of views just eating French fries or like going and eating the new Travis Scott burger. Weirdness, I don't know. It's like I say, it's one thing to be funny and it's another thing to act funny. It's one thing to be weird and it's one thing to act weird. And you can tell that with that word act, people can tell unless you're a really good actor. So the sun's going down.
Yeah.
I have no clue how far we're in. We're having a good one. So we're about an hour and 20 into this podcast. Not bad. So is there anything you wanna say to the people?
Well, if you have watched this far, then something we said has triggered an emotion in you, right? Most people don't watch shit for an hour and 20. They do after 5-10 minutes to play Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Booty.
So whatever we said that really, touched you, made you think. Just keep in mind things that are said here at the end of the day are just words. At the end of the day, you have the key to whatever it is you want to achieve, right? Like I watched some motivational stuff when I started, but that's not why I'm successful. It's because I made the moves.
Yes.
So whether it's e-com you're doing or stock trading, or you're an artist that just randomly found this video, or you want to be a YouTuber, whatever it is, either you make it happen or you'll be 50 years old and look back at your youth at the times where you thought about starting and didn't and hate yourself. You can't, you'll never be as young, smart, and a quick learner as you are right now. It's never a better time than right now. So either you started or you're going to be another average person living an average life and hating yourself for it. So whatever it is, make the move.
Justification will be the death of all your dreams. Full accountability will make them flourish. Like if you take full accountability with every action you do, you don't blame somebody else for this. You take it all out of your head. Full accountability for everything, dude. And when you hit those highs again, they feel that much better because that's full accountability for the highs. When most people don't want to take any accountability for the lows. Oh, this happened. Oh, my business partner. Nope, just take full accountability. Move on. I like that. I like that a lot.
Boom.
All right. Well, this was Simplified Podcast. Thank you so much, Hooman.